key to a revitalized economy and our long-term prosperity as a nation lies in addressing climate change and transitioning to a clean energy economy. U.S. industries want to invest in a clean energy future, but uncertainty about whether, when, and how greenhouse gas emissions will be reduced is deterring these vital investments. Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony you will give before this committee will be the truth and nothing but the truth, the whole truth?
Certainty in the investment world is critical to success. And what we lack today is certainty in terms of what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. I would argue that today we have almost the worst of all worlds. We have 17 states that are developing their own programs. We have RPS in some areas, not in others. The fact is that the last 40-plus coal plants haven't been permitted. So we have an energy policy, it's just that nobody knows what it is. And it shows up in terms of those consequences. So, look, I say this with great respect to my colleagues. I didn't come to this as an environmentalist. I come to it as an industrialist. I'm a capitalist, pure, plain and simple. And I just think the system we have today is untenable over the long term, insofar as, the science is so compelling on global warming. Something's going to happen. The more certainty you can give us, the better we can respond and be efficient on behalf of our shareholders.
Regulatory uncertainty is postponing investments in renewables and other green technologies. It's postponing the creation of jobs, from apprentices to engineers to PhDs. Our one fear, and I will leave this with you, is that many in Congress will look for reasons to postpone action on climate legislation this year. As a former consumer advocate who fought rate increases of utility companies in the 70s, I believe by starting now, we have a better chance to smooth out and minimize the inevitable cost increases that will be imposed on U.S. consumers.
The cap creates customers, and if America has ever needed customers at home and abroad, both for new and existing technologies, now is that time. And thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your commitment to move legislation out of this committee by the Memorial Day recess. For the sake of our atmosphere and our economy, we really need Congress to enact this legislation this year.
Critical path technologies such as carbon dioxide capture and storage, or CCS, need stable, predictable funding sources not subject to annual appropriations in order to compress and accelerate the technology deployment and commercialization timeframes.
When one thinks about the consequences of inaction, just for example, in water in the West or hurricane damage in the East, they more than swamp the costs associated with dealing with climate change. And what we've learned from business is the sooner you start working on a major problem, the more degrees of freedom that you have in solving that, and the solutions are cheaper. So the costs will not be inconsequential, but they will be less than the cost of inaction.